all you have to do for week 2, all you have to do is just do the week 2 forum and then the week 2 discussion assignment.
Oh, okay.
Not this discussion, the week 2 outline. So 2 things, the week 2 discussion on time management, and then your narrative essay outline in which you fill out the worksheet in the, that's in the assignment. So you're going to decide this week, what are you going to write about for your narrative essay? And you're going to write a thesis statement. And so basically you're doing pre-writing. You're doing the first stage of the writing process for your narrative essay. So what is your narrative essay going to be about?
I haven't decided yet.
The most popular topic is I became a nurse because. And so that I became a nurse is the thesis statement, and then followed by the 3 reasons. And then those 3 reasons become your body paragraphs. So you could say the most common one is I became a nurse because I want to be a role model for my kids. I want a steady job with benefits, and I love to help people. And each one of those reasons then paragraph 2 becomes I love to help people. Paragraph 3 becomes I want a job with steady benefits. And then paragraph 4 would be I want to be a role model for my kids. Did I say that already? I forget. Yeah.
Yes, you did, but it's okay.
Yeah, you get the idea. So the 3 reasons for the in your thesis becomes the 3 body paragraphs. And then after each topic sentence, so let's say you say I want to help people, and then you would write 5 to 7 sentences. That's where the story comes in, is when you write how you help people on a daily basis. You would say Mr. Jones comes into the hospital every day for his prescriptions, and I love helping him with his medicine, that sort of thing. So that's where you stick the story in, is when you say I want to help people, or I want to be a role model for my kids. And then when you say why, that in the supporting sentences, that's when you put in the story for your paper. Does that make sense? Your life story.
Yes.
Yeah. And then the conclusion is that you repeat in the first sentence, you repeat the thesis statement, and then you summarize your essay. And that's it. It's a 5-paragraph outline. And then in week 4, you'll write out your outline into a 5-paragraph essay draft. Does that make sense?
Yes.
And then in week 6, it's your final draft, and it counts as a midterm. So that's it.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, so let's that's it for 2, 4, 6. Pretty easy to remember and each one is a stage of the writing process. Week 2 is pre-writing, week 4 is writing, and then week 6 is rewriting. So it's the whole class. The first half of your class is going to be essay 1, and then the second half of the class will be essay 2 and 3. You'll have another 2 essays to write in the second half of the class, NAPA. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you got plenty of time to learn writing, and so let's do the week 3 quiz. And so in the week 3 quiz, before I get to the week 3 quiz, the week 2 forum, you're just going to you're going to talk about time management and what time management tips do you have for students. This is going to be your week 2 assignment outline. So here I just went over, I became a nurse because reason 1, reason 2, reason 3, and then a conclusion. Week 3 forum, you're going to play a food game. And so you're going to describe a food, and then you're going to have everyone guess what that food is. So in week 3, people put tomato sauce and cheese on me. I am thin, round, and flat. I am made of bread dough. I am delicious to eat. I am thin. I come from Italy. The cooks toss me in the air to thin me out. They sell a lot of me at Domino's or Papa John's. And I am the name of the store, Brooklyn's Original Blank. What am I? So can you guess what food it is?
Pizza.
Yeah, pizza. So obviously it's here. And so everyone else has to guess, what food am I? And then they would say, are you a hot dog? Are you a hamburger? Are you that sort of thing. So when you post to 2 students, you're going to be guessing what someone else's food post is. So your original post is going to be this, guess what it is, due before Wednesday, and then you have until Sunday to guess. And this is the most students tell me this is the most fun because it's a game of all the, and here you're practicing your descriptive writing. So basically that's week 3. All right, so let's start the week 3 quiz. So in week 3, all you have to do is your week 3 forum, and then this week 3 quiz. And then week 2 is just the week 2 forum and the week 2 outline. How's that for the next 2 weeks? You got it? Yeah.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, so let's start the week 3 quiz. The week 3 quiz is more about parts of speech. And so the next one we went over last week, we went over nouns, common noun, proper noun, and plural noun. And this week, and we also went over subject and verbs. This week we're going to go over adjectives, adverbs, and nouns. So an adjective modifies a noun. A noun is a person, place, or thing. A verb is an action or a state. An adverb modifies a verb. Words ending in ly are adverbs. John rode his horse slowly. Slowly is an adverb that modifies the verb rode. And so here, John rode his horse slowly. Slowly is the adverb that modifies how slowly he rode. Rodney drove his car rapidly. So here the word rapidly is an adverb that modifies the word drove. And so rapidly, or adverbs, can be anywhere in the sentence. Rapidly, Rodney drove his car. Rodney rapidly drove his car, and Rodney drove his car rapidly. So here the adverb can be at the beginning of the sentence, the middle of the sentence, or the end of the sentence. However, an adjective is usually before the noun. So we don't say John is a writer slow. We always tend to say John is a slow writer. So adjectives tend to come before the noun. Unlike an adverb that can occur almost everywhere in a sentence, the adjective occurs before the noun. There's only one exception to that rule, is if I say the man is smart. This is the only exception where the adjective comes after what it modifies. So here it's modifying man, and it comes after the noun. Normally, an adjective always comes before the noun, as in the smart man. So this is the exception. Clark is tall. The man is smart. So if you wanted to say the handsome, handsomely man dresses handsomely in a fancy suit. So which is correct? Is it handsome or handsomely man?
Handsome.
Handsome, because adjectives come before the noun. Anything with an ly is an adverb. So if I say the man dresses handsome or handsomely?
Handsomely.
Handsomely, because handsomely can come anywhere in the sentence. I was paid handsome or handsomely for my job.
Handsomely.
Handsomely. So usually if it ends in ly, that's an adverb. Okay. Robert snored loudly. Is loudly an adjective or an adverb?
Adjective.
Loudly is an adjective when it modifies snores.
Descriptive word. Oh,
Adverb. Yeah, adverb always modifies a verb, hence the word verb. So therefore loudly, which is anything ending in ly, and therefore it's an adverb because adverbs modify verbs. That's it. Okay, is that good? Is that good? Everything good on adjectives and adverbs?
Yeah.
So what's the difference between an adjective and an adverb?
An adjective describes and an adverb modifies a verb.
And what does an adjective describe? A noun or a verb?
Noun.
A noun. Okay. So now we'll go on to the next chapter, the pronouns. So pronouns come in two different forms. It could either be subject pronouns or object pronouns. Subject pronouns are like he, I, he, she, they, we, you, it. And subject pronouns are the subject of the sentence. It replaces the subject of the sentence. As a result, subject pronouns come before the noun. And then object pronouns replace the object of the sentence and come after the verb. And so object pronouns tend to be me, him, her, she. I don't know where it's placed, but those are object pronouns. Oh, us, him, her, them, me, you, it. And so those are all object pronouns. John gave me money. And so me is the object pronoun because it comes after the verb. I gave him money. John gave us money. So all of these object pronouns come after the verb gave. Then the subject pronoun replaces my friend and I. So we say my friend and I. We don't say my friend and me, okay, because me would come after the verb. So I comes before the verb. She is a great dancer. And so she replaces Susan. So she is an object, is a subject pronoun because it comes before the verb. What kind of pronoun is I? Subject or object pronoun?
No. I gave her all my money.
So first let's do subject. Oh, I gave it away. Okay.
Subject pronoun, yeah.
Subject pronoun. And what about her? What kind of pronoun is that?
Object.
Object pronoun.
No. Yeah,
Let's try this again. She is what kind of pronoun?
Subject.
Us is what kind of pronoun?
Object.
Object, okay, because if I say anything, I would just give it away. So here, yes, I have to be quiet. So the apples spoiled due to the humid weather. What pronoun would replace apples? Would we replace apples with them or they?
They.
They. What kind of pronoun is they?
It is a
Subject or object pronoun?
object.
What did you say?
Subject?
Subject pronoun, yes. Because they replaces apples, and apples is the subject of the sentence. So that's why it is a subject pronoun. John sent Jimmy on an errand. What pronoun would replace Jimmy? Would it be him or he?
He.
John sent he.
Oh, sent Jimmy. Jimmy. Him.
Him, right. So Jimmy, is that a object pronoun or a subject pronoun?
Object.
Object pronoun because it's Jimmy is the object of the sentence. All right, so here that's it for subject and object pronouns. You got that? All right.
Yes.
Possessive pronouns show possession. This is my book. This is mine. This is his book. This is his. This is your book. This is yours. John's neighbor is blind, so that when we show possession, we use an apostrophe S. And this is his Braille book. John's neighbor is blind. This is his Braille book. The dog's tail wagged. The dog wagged its tail. And so when we say the dog's tail, we use an apostrophe S. But if we say the dog wagged its tail, we do not put an apostrophe S here. Because if we put an apostrophe S here, it becomes it is. So always the dog wagged its tail. And then it's a nice day. And so when you're using a contraction, then you put the apostrophe S. My car lost its rear license plate. Is it the first one or the second one?
The second one.
The second one. The book is the first one or the second one?
First.
The first one. The mayor said the task of cutting the budget was not first, second, or third. This has the answer to it there, though.
First.
Yeah, the first. The book of his is boring. He's a nice man, so he is. So this is all about, because people confuse its ITS with IT apostrophe S. And so that's what it is. And then there and there. So if you have there is a pronoun used as a possessive. This car is theirs. This is their car. You cannot say there is a car in the garage. You have to say this kind of there. And this is known as a expletive filler. It's known as a filler subject, there. So there is a car in the garage. And the interesting thing about this kind of sentence is that there is not the subject of the sentence. Car is the subject of the sentence. Therefore, if you have a singular subject car, then the verb over here becomes is. If I say cars, then the verb over here becomes are, subject-verb agreement. So this is car. When you have there is, car is the subject of the sentence. And in the garage is the prepositional phrase, because a prepositional phrase shows time and place. Their car is red. So here that's how we use there. You cannot say there is a car in the garage. Didn't I just do that? Why is that the same as...
Yeah, it's on there twice.
I know, I was like, wait a minute, didn't I just do that? That's doubled. And I could have sworn. Oh, okay. Anyway, there's a car in the garage becomes theirs. And the car is theirs. That's not correct. It should be the car is theirs. And did I have there's a car in the garage? Did I do that? There's a car in the garage. Actually, tell me, is this correct or incorrect?
That's correct.
That's
There
actually
is
correct.
a car.
Why is there an
Yeah.
X there? Most likely it's because I had it for a previous class and I did it like this, and then I didn't and then I corrected it for that student and forgot to recorrect it for the next class.
Oh, yeah, that
Yeah,
makes
that
sense.
happens. So yeah, so he's, she's, it's, theirs. So this is all the contractions for when people talk. They talk really quickly and they say he's, she's. But when you write a academic paper, you should avoid using contractions because that's just too, that's very unprofessional. That's just very conversational. So when you write a paper, you should write out he is, she is, it is, because it sounds more professional. You are, they are, instead of there. Okay, so that makes your paper sound more professional. So when you're at work, avoid writing theirs. Write there is. Did you know that? No?
Yes.
Yes, you already knew that. Okay, now next, a demonstrative pronoun. So demonstrative pronoun shows where something is in space. So if I say that this banana, so this banana is very close to me. They're located close to me. And then if I say that banana, and I'm pointing to it, then the banana is far away from me. And if I say these books, so that would mean that I have a lot of books or bananas close near me, and if I'm pointing to those bananas over there, then it's far away from me. So basically a demonstrative pronoun is when you are showing someone where something is in time and space. So this, that, these, those. You cannot say this their house is old. You also cannot say why is this not turning? Okay. You also cannot say that beer is stale, and you cannot say them shoes are smelly. You have to say these shoes are smelly and those shoes are smelly. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Oh, I forgot to ask whether or not you can see what I shared. Can you see it?
Oh, yeah, I can see your screen.
Yeah, okay, because I forgot to do that, and I don't know why it's not turning. Isn't that weird? All right, so for some reason, this is not turning very well. All right, so I'm just going to describe it. The next thing we're going to do is when we compare two things, like John is taller than Jimmy. That is known as a comparative. Yeah, when you have a comparative, you compare only two things. If I say John is the smartest man in the room, that is known as a superlative. So when you have a superlative, you are comparing more than one thing. And so I can't seem to get this to work. Well, okay, now it's working. All right, so John is smarter than Jan. So this is a comparative when you're comparing two things. You cannot say Jack is more better at math than Steve, because there's no such thing as more better. You have to say Jack is better at math than Steve. You cannot say Jack is less better at math than Steve. And then when you have more than one syllable, then you have to use more than and less than. So if I say Jack is smarter than Jack, Steve is smarter than Jack. Smart only has one syllable. And then you just say ER, smarter than. But if the word adjective has more than one syllable, like intelligent has 4 syllables, then we say Steve is more intelligent than Jack. Jack is less intelligent than Steve. So intelligent. Do you remember learning this in second grade? Roughly. This is when it's taught. All of this is all a review of your second grade grammar. Do you remember learning this in second grade?
Huh?
Intelligent. And I remember the teacher even let us use our fingers to do it. We thought it was such fun.
Yeah, we would clap.
Oh, okay, yeah. You could also clap or beat on the desk. So here is the stranger or strangest of the two pictures featured an owl with 3 eyes. So do we use stranger or strangest? And
Well, I can't see it. Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Strangest.
No, stranger of the two pictures.
Stranger.
Because we're talking
Stranger
about
of the
two
two
things.
pictures.
We're comparing
Okay.
two things, and every time we're comparing two things, it becomes ER. EST means that we're doing a superlative, and therefore we're comparing more than two things. And so here, if I say John is the smartest student in the class, so that means we're comparing John to 25 other people in the class, therefore it's known as a superlative, and then you use an EST. Jack is the dumbest student in the class. Once again, you're comparing Jack to everybody else in the class, 25 people, so we use EST. And also, if you have one syllable, we use EST, smartest. Smart has one syllable. Dumb has one syllable. But if you, and pretty has 2 syllables, prettiest. But if you have more than 2 syllables, like intelligent, then we say Jack is the least intelligent student in the school, or Robert is the most intelligent student in the school. We do not say intelligentest. We do not say, so therefore we don't say intelligentest, like we would say smartest or dumbest. So when you have 1 or 2 syllables, you can use EST, and then more than 2 syllables, you have to use least and most. And so this signals a least and most signals that you have a superlative. And then if you have more or less, that signals that you have a comparative. And so what is an antecedent? So do you understand the difference between a superlative and a comparative? So what is the difference between a comparative and a superlative?
A superlative is a group, like you're comparing them to a group, and the other one is just 2 different things.
Good, okay. An antecedent. So the antecedent is what the pronoun replaces. So Jack is a smart man. He reads every day. And so the pronoun he replaces Jack. And so that's known as an antecedent. So an antecedent is the noun that the pronoun replaces. And this antecedent, or the pronoun, has to always agree with the pronoun. And a pronoun always agrees with its antecedents. Pronouns and antecedents should agree in gender or number. So that you have to remember for the quiz. So if I say Jack and Bob, then you would have to say they read books every day. And so and then if I say Janet is a smart woman, then you have to say she reads books every day. So therefore, an antecedent has to agree in gender and number. And so Jack and Jill went up the hill. They walk a lot. So a plural antecedent takes a plural pronoun, and a singular antecedent takes a singular pronoun. And then after a comparative, you have a subject pronoun. Veli plays better than I. We don't say that Veli plays better than me. Why? Because in English you'd say Veli plays better piano than I do. And so you always end your, comparative with a subject pronoun. So that's it, and then I think that's it for week 3. So are you ready for the week 3 practice quiz?
I think so.
Okay, so your, your piano performance proved that you practiced more than they. Is the pronoun in this sentence an object or subject pronoun?
Or piano. Subject.
Subject pronoun. We could not have asked for A or B, teacher in math.
A.
A. Which of the following is true about pronoun and antecedent agreement?
B.
B. William took his classes very.
B.
B. Seriously. The clothes that Laura gave my sister and me were too small. Is the pronoun in this sentence an object or subject pronoun?
Object.
Object. And then is it them two movies or those two movies are about life in New England?
B.
What?
B.
Yes, those two movies are about, as the little boy blank snuggled the tiny kitten, the kitten purred. So is it gentle or gently?
Gently.
Gently. All right, I don't know what all of this is.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah, it's supposed to be an underline, so I don't know why it came out like that. And it's supposed to be like this. I still don't know what this is. So
Yeah, that's weird.
yeah, something like that. Yeah, that looks better. So as the little boy, was it?
Yeah.
Okay, there we go. So Tara told the blank jokes I've ever heard. Which adjective or adverb completes the sentence?
A.
A. Most clever, because it's more than you're comparing more than two. A or B, that or that there. Jack entered.
A.
A.
Back.
What part of speech is there?
Pronoun.
Pronoun. It's a possessive pronoun. He knocked on the door. What part of speech is the underlined term in the sentence?
Pronoun.
Pronoun, yes. And number 12, do we leave them keys or those keys out on the coffee table?
Those.
Those keys. You can read it out loud if you're not sure. Are those
Okay.
seats theirs, or theirs? Is it A, B, or C?
B.
B. And then is it them two movies? Didn't we do this one already?
Yeah.
Them two movies are about life in New England. Okay, so we'll skip this one.
Mhm.
I discovered that my car had somehow lost its rear license plate. What is the correct possessive pronoun for this sentence?
B.
B. The apples spoiled due to the humidity. What pronoun would best replace the noun apples?
They.
They. What is the correct demonstrative pronoun for this sentence?
B.
B. We did this one already, but let's see if you remember. Is it the stranger or the strangest?
Stranger.
So here's some more practice. The cleaner was very abrasive or
Abrasive.
abrasively?
Abrasive.
Abrasive. He cleaned the table abrasive or abrasively?
Abrasively.
He has an blank cleaner.
Abrasive.
Abrasive. The bird chirped loud or loudly?
Loudly.
Loudly. The blank bird kept me awake all night.
Loud.
Loud. Okay, so you don't need to do all of these. Do you want to go over all of these?
No.
No. Okay, we'll skip all of this. You can go over this yourself. These are all the answers. Okay, so I think you got the hang of it. And then I went over the writing process. So basically week 2 is pre-writing, week 4 is writing, week 6. You can either call it post-writing or rewriting, where you revise your paper. And then this is your worksheet. And I will let you read all of this. Did you do your worksheet already?
I think so.
Have you? Okay, so we'll just go over this really quick. I mean, this is people can just look this over. I'm just going to go over this. Free writing, mapping, clustering, brainstorming, listing, questioning. So free writing is when you just write whatever you think and you just write it all out. Mapping and clustering is you put your main idea in the center circle, and then you put the supporting ideas in the outer circles. That's mapping and clustering. Brainstorming and listing means you just simply make a list of what you think about of your topic. You just list everything. And questioning is when you ask, what are your research questions? What am I curious about? What do I want to know? And so questioning occurs over here. In this, well, it's not over here, but in your worksheet, it will ask you what attracted you to this topic. Why did you choose this topic? What connected you to this topic? I believe that's this. What do you want to learn? This is known as questioning. That's a pre-writing activity. So it gets you into the mood of why you chose the topic. So that's known as questioning. And so that's it. This is known as brainstorming. Okay, brainstorming, mapping, clustering. And then this is known as free writing, where I wrote about my mother's death. At the time I wrote this, I wrote about how she, died, and she died of COVID. And so the doctor took out my mother's ventilator tube. The doctor said to my father, "There's nothing more I can do for her. Say your piece. She will not last more than an hour without the ventilator." My father approached the bed and softly touched my mother's cheek. I had never seen my father look so devastated. I said to my mother, "I love you. I am sorry for all the times I said I was too busy to talk to you on the phone. Please forgive me, Mom." Her last words to me were, "I am so proud of you. I love you." She never finished her sentence as she slipped peacefully into God's arms. And that would be your introduction, your hook, and your 5 background sentences. So now your thesis statement is the last sentence of the first paragraph. To avoid taking one's loved one for granted, one should give love, appreciation, and time. And therefore love, appreciation, and time become your body paragraphs. So the 3 reasons in your thesis statement become your 3 body paragraphs. So this was, and of course recently my father died in July. Also, I would say also COVID related, but he died of cancer and COVID, but it was the COVID that uncovered the cancer. So if you have COVID that never seems to go away, that means you may have undiagnosed cancer. At least that's what it was in my father's case. Anyway, so this is the most common, and I already went over this earlier. Now here's what's interesting. Here are the common reasons everybody, all the different nurses wrote for becoming a nurse. I want to be a role model. I want steady benefits. You only need to choose. This is known as, by the way, if you're wondering, this is known as listing. When you just list everything, you think of all the different reasons, and you just make a long list. Then out of that long list, you choose the 3 that resonates with you. Okay, so here, and I will be giving you this file. I'll upload this to the email, and then you guys can then you can look this over. Other topics, if you want to write about other topics, a major turning point in my life was I started the Fortis College program because the role model or the hero in my life is my mother, father, grandmother, whatever. And then the 3 major life lessons in my life are, and then you could write, I learned to give people a second chance. I learned that never to take someone for granted. I learned never to judge a book by its cover. And each one of those life lessons will have a 5 to 7 sentence story. So that's also the happiest day of my life was when I got married, because going back to school is important. So basically you're writing a story that has a moral, okay? Just like you would a fairy tale. The most embarrassing moment of my life was when, and then because, reason 1, reason 2, reason 3. So basically that's it, and this is more examples about your food posts, okay? So you could read this through, and this should end all of this. You could read all of this about, and when you write a introduction paragraph, you need to have a hook, background information, thesis statement. Then when you write your conclusion, you put the thesis statement first, then you summarize your paper, and you have a final recommendation to your reader. And then your body paragraphs needs to have a topic sentence, a supporting sentence, and concluding sentence. And that's it for this and that's it for this presentation. So was this presentation helpful for you for learning how to do the week 2 and 3 assignments?
Yes.
Okay. So good to see you, and I hope to see you again next week. Next week is what? Week 3? And then week 3 I might be going over how to do a peer review, because you're going to have a lot of forums where you're going to be peer reviewing other people's papers. So I'll go over what is a peer review. So I hope to see you next week. And also, if you happen to be first, if you want, you get to choose. Do I want to not forego the lecture, or do I just want the teacher to just go over my paper? Okay, so that's up. The first person who comes up to bat, who comes here, gets to make the choice, and then then everyone else follows. It's like follow the leader. So first come, first serve. Because I may not do the lecture if the first person who shows up says, "Well, I want us to all go over our papers," and so then I would go to the whiteboard and we would go over papers. So that's up to the first person who shows up. You have the power. So I'll see you next week. And I hope you enjoyed today's lecture. Okay?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome.